Hello and welcome to Vibra Finance. My name is Lindsay, and tonight I am joined by the lovely Serena Alonzi. We are going over staking strategies for episode number 5 of HEX Updates. Today is day 1104 of flawless uptick time for HEX. We are looking at a price of a little over 2 cents. The T-share price in terms of US dollars is 733, and the T-share rate, which is the most important thing to remember when you're talking about share rates, the T-share rate is 25,250 hex. The payout per T-share is 6.338 hex. Now, let's hear a little bit from Vibra Finance.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.
Hello and welcome back. All right, we are ready to kick off episode number 5 of staking strategies, and we are specifically speaking about staking the HEX token. Serena, you are an experienced staker. Can you please start us off and share one of your staking strategies with us?
Of course. So one of my staking strategies is to have a staking ladder. And what that means is to have stakes staked out every year. So you have something coming out 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I have them where it's like every year leading up to the 15 years so that there's always something to look forward to and something to unstake.
Something to unstake, and we'll get to the unstaking. We'll get to the end process on that in a future episode. But thank you for giving us a brief overview. Now, you have said before that you are looking at a long-term view. So, can you please explain to us a little bit more about what a long-term plan looks like for you?
Sure. So my personal example is, and of what I did and why, is to set up stakes that are far out there, 15 years, and have a stake coming out every year, like I was saying earlier. And the reason you want to do this is so that the longer you lock away your hex, you get more, like bigger pays better and longer pays better. So you're getting more rewards and earning more hex by staking longer and having long-term 15-year stakes. And you also lock in more T-shares, and that is very important, as we've discussed before. So
Right, because the T-share rate is what we're actually paying attention to in terms of paying you out in hex. And the T-share rate is special and important because those T-shares, there's only a certain or a finite amount of them, and therefore that makes them scarce.
Yeah.
Reiterate that when we're talking about staking, as we have in a previous episode, we're talking about taking your liquid hex and staking it with a smart contract and locking those tokens away for a fixed and chosen amount of time. And so you have chosen 15 years, and you had mentioned laddering. Now, laddering is a term that's frequently used when we're talking in hex terms, and you explained to us what laddering is. Now, you have a 15-year stake, and did you ladder that out so that it's covering you yearly, or how did you complete that strategy?
So I have a bunch of like long-term stakes, and then I made sure I have something coming out every year. So there's always going to I don't know how else to there's always something up coming out. So.
Special events.
That too, yeah. Sorry,
okay. No, that's okay. I just wanted to be more specific so that people could get an idea of what, because strategies and staking and strategies are very specific and unique to you and your individual wants, needs, your own personal expectations, so to speak. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to give people an idea. One of our community members has a really cool strategy of staking out long term, and then their laddering, or so to speak, is to take their hex days and then pay out on birthdays. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was
That's one of them. Yeah. I have, sorry, I should have been into more detail. Yeah, I have stakes coming out every year for a birthday present and like around Christmas time, and like family birthdays and stuff. So yeah, do that every year for 15 years. So
That's a really cool plan. And that's nice to know that in when you're ready to receive those rewards, that you will be receiving your principal balance plus your rewards that you've earned for the long-term bonus. Can you explain to us like a little bit about that bonus for staking out long-term, why you chose that? Like how
yeah. So I chose to stake long term because yeah, you get a lot more hex with that. And that is the ultimate goal, is to earn more hex and lock in those T shares. Um, yeah.
awesome. Okay. So can you explain a little bit about your pros, and then we'll get into maybe some cons.
Sure. So yeah, one of the pros, of course, is earning more hex, and bigger pays better and longer pays better. So that's why I started most of my stakes like far out there. Um, it's good to like work your way backwards if you can. Um, this way you're just locking in T shares and earning more hex from the start. And another pro is that I have set up my future with delayed gratification, and I always have something to look forward to for the next 15 years. Um, and another pro of that is that I get to be a part of the best crypto community, and it's such a strong community. So I get to be a part of that for the next 15 years. And there's a lot of events and meetups to look forward to. And I have friends for 15 years that I can build connections with. And yeah.
That really is, that's not even a hidden bonus. It's just an undisclosed bonus that you get an awesome community to grow with over 15 years. And we
Yeah.
will see so many changes together. So if you're going to stick something out and you're going to hold on to a product and be loyal to a product for 15 years, and you're being rewarded for that promise that you're keeping to yourself, keep being rewarded for a promise that you're making to a contract. How
Mhm.
many contracts out there or with products you find yourself involved with where the rewards are not mutually beneficial? And when I say that they're not beneficial, meaning that one part of that contract is not upheld in the way that it was promised or intended to do so. So I really like that you have planned out your delayed gratification. Where did
Mhm.
that come from? Where did the idea come from to delay that gratification for you in hex terms?
Just because longer pays better and bigger pays better, and I have lots of time. I'm young, so I'm like, why not set up, something far out there?
Now you're
And
young, and I know you're
yeah,
out there mingling, right? So tell me,
sure, not really, but
okay, so when she's ready to mingle, and she's out there mingling. These are things that a girl's got to think about. We have to think on our feet. And
Mhm.
we plan out for a future, as you've said, you've planned 15 years ahead. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're mingling and you happen to be out there commingling, how does that factor into your plans?
um, yeah, so that would, I guess, be part of some cons.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
Tell me about your
if
cons then. What are your
yeah,
cons to stay for 15 years?
okay, so one of them, yeah, well, I should go in order, I guess. One of them is that you have to wait longer to enjoy your gains, unless you emergency end stake, which I strongly suggest you don't do that. And we've talked about that in a previous episode, which is why it's important to have a ladder. So if you have something coming out every year, you don't have to worry about emergency end staking because you always have something available. Um,
And you've
but
already
yeah,
planned prepared for those birthdays. And so you
mhm,
know that you planned and prepared for those birthdays coming up.
exactly. Yeah. And then I guess another con would be having to protect your seed phrase for 15 years and make sure that you don't fall for any scams, or yeah, if you're meeting somebody or whatever, that would be a con, I guess, because how do you meet somebody and then they eventually find out about HEX or whatever? Like, I don't really know how that would work. So that, I guess, is a con.
Well, you're
Um,
lucky to have an awesome community around you
mhm,
where I'm sure that there's lots of Mexicans that do a vetting process and help you out with that one. So.
yeah. um, and then, yeah, another con would be, I guess, if you're going to eventually get married and you have HEX, if anything happens, you don't want to lose your HEX. But, people say like, oh, well, you can just get a prenup and stuff. Yeah, but that doesn't protect you for your stakes and any future HEX coming out in 15 years. That only protects you for what you have right now. So that would be another con of mine.
Unless you dial that into unless you're aware of these things and you already have your plan in place and you can dial that language in as
Mm,
you and your partner agree to,
okay.
which is highly recommended.
Yeah.
So yeah,
um,
but that's awesome. That's something I am really excited to hear that you're thinking about that. That is a very smart move for just a
mm,
really smart move for
yeah, you
someone.
have to you have to think about that stuff, right? Like, it's your future. It's 15 years. It's anything can happen and you never know. You meet people and you can trust them, and then one day you realize, oh, I can't trust that person. So yeah, and the more HEX goes up, that's just going to be a bigger con, I guess. So that's
Or something
something.
to be aware of to protect
Yes.
your digital assets.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, let's get on. No, we'll get off the prenup talk and get on to
Yeah.
medium stake. Like, we'll probably get back to the prenup topic at some time because this is something that, as our community grows, we're going to see younger community members coming in, and so for you to come on here as a young woman and say that that is something that you're thinking about for long term, you're already establishing that you are preparing yourself to protect you and your assets going forward for life. And I think that
Mhm.
that's a message that indeed needs to be shared. So
Yeah.
let's talk about protecting yourself for 5 to 10 years, a medium stake length and that is considered medium very subjectively or very objectively. However you look at it, that's for you because at the end of the day, it is your decision to participate in this asset class or it is your decision to not participate in this asset class. So therefore, things that you do within inside of this asset class are uh, your things. You are accountable for them. So
Mm.
5 to 10 years is where we're looking at for about a medium strength. And the strategies for those would be laddering it out so that you're receiving a payout once every year on your birthday, or if you're giving a T-shirt as a wedding gift to someone,
Mhm.
for example, you could set them up with a anniversary share payout, which would be something that a young couple could appreciate.
Mm.
Short-term stakes, we're looking at 1 to 5 years. There are many pros and cons to both medium and short stakes, but that also depends on you and your planning and your situation. The most important thing to know before you choose to participate in any asset class is your why. Why are you participating in this asset class? Once you have a very clear definition of your why, your goals, your intentions, it makes it easier to create a plan so that you can take actionable steps to achieve those goals, those plans, and you can help fill in holes from there. Having
Mm.
task batching your financial plan, so to speak. But we'll get into that in future episodes. We wanted to make sure that we covered long, short, and medium stakes because that could be very like the maximum stake length is 15, a little over 15 years, right?
Mhm.
So you went hard on that. You went full out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. From the beginning, when you learn about HEX and the whole 5,555 days is maximum uh, rewards.
Right.
I was like, yep, I want to do that. So,
All right. So tell us about your restaking strategy.
oh, okay. Yeah. So restaking is just if you want to keep your principal, like you can just scrape off the interest and then restake the principal. So you're never having to sell that hex. Like you always can just restake it and keep scraping off the interest, and you throw that principal back out there. You just always have a never ending staking ladder. So
It
yeah.
kind of sticks together like a meatball.
Yep.
I like that meatball. Where did that one come from?
Meatballing.
Meatballing. Well, listen, the early days, we'll keep coming up with terms that are relatable. But that is all we have for today. We really just wanted to cover very simple, basic staking strategies, what there are for us, what it may look like for you, if that's something that you are interested in. If it's not something you're interested in, that's understandable. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Serena and I this week. Episode number 5 of HEX Updates in the Books. If you missed the last 4, you can find us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell button for all notifications, and you can tune in live with us next week. One lucky subscriber, I will find you and I will get you a hat. Pulse chain, hex. Oh yeah, PulseX, and the brim is flashy. Let me tell you, these hats are so comfy, and I can't wait to get one in the hands of one of our audience members. When Vibra Finance reaches 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving a brand new Ledger Nano X away to one of our lucky subs. So please tune in, like, subscribe, hit the bell button. I'll find Serena on Twitter. You can find her on YouTube at Serena Alonzi. You can find me at Vibra Finance or at Hexkin Lindsay. And we'll be back here next week for episode number 6, a total Hex recap from the beginning. And tune in Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Adam and all of his crypto alpha. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is not financial ice. It's just our opinion. Good night.